Welcome to Chimp Chat. I'm Virgie Sanchez. Here it's mostly primates, somewhat educational, but I hope that it's inspirational. And today's guest is very near and dear to me. He was the first friend that I made at Tacugama Sanctuary. Do you want to introduce yourself?
So, hi everyone. I'm Sulaiman Albert Sesay, and I'm a tour guide at Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary. I do more of educational touring and just explaining to people the work Tacugama do, and also explaining to them the chimps challenges chimps are facing across the country, and also to know there are challenges and if there's any reason for them to come on board and help the sanctuary and also help protect the chimpanzees and be better for us because chimpanzees are very much important.
Very, very, extremely important. I mean, it's the reason that brought me to Africa and to have you as my friend. Today, we're going to talk about several things, but it is mostly going to pertain to life with chimpanzees in Sierra Leone and what we can do to protect them, not just here, but anyone that's watching this, how you guys can help. But do you want to?
Yeah.
I guess we'll just talk about first chimpanzee-human relationships in Sierra Leone.
Chimpanzees actually, they are now national animals of Sierra Leone, even though there are some challenges, but people also see how important they are as we share almost a lot of things together, the forest, which is where people normally get the food, the plantings there, and also to get clean water from there. The chimpanzees also do that as well. And mostly their life is revolving within the forest. And because organizations like Tacugama have been going out there trying to make sure they explain to people like the importance of chimpanzees. And we've seen some changes in areas like most provinces, in areas like Kama Mountain axis. And this particular place, Kama Mountain, is a place we have the highest concentration of Western chimpanzees. There are over 1,000 wild chimps living there, and which ground normally focus more on watching there by trying to make sure providing for these people like different way how to manage their own daily activities. And with that, we've seen some changes where people now do normally respect that. And even though there's challenges, but because of what we're doing and through education, there have been some changes in those areas. Also, the chimpanzees use these different things, the fruits, leaves, all like into the forest. Now, in these places we are working, like most of the local authorities are now trying to make sure they enforce more laws on the people. So they've seen like the benefits of chimpanzees and they've already accepting the concept of protecting chimpanzees in the wild.
Well, so the thing about the laws too, they're not always enforced. Is that right? I mean, or are those getting
Yes.
stricter?
I can say nationally, I mean, the law are not so much effective like in enforcement because, but if we go locally in areas like we are working, trying to provide more for them, like alternative of living, they've seen reasons why they can protect the animals because they started seeing benefit from them. So in those areas, we've seen changes, but like nationally, it's not happening like that because just about 2 weeks ago, we rescued a baby chimp about 8 months old from the south side of the country. So that means people are still killing them and keeping their babies as pets. So that's why we're trying to make sure we get other people on board so that we can spread out the education. I can also learn these people that much because I believe in them, the education and know how important chimpanzees are. I believe it can help. And also that can help a lot.
Yeah, I remember us talking a little bit and just learning more, I think, about how it's not so much in the main town, but out in the outskirts that a lot of people are not aware of the laws. And so that's probably why they're keeping the chimpanzees as pets or because they're not aware of the laws. Is that Do you think that is that still accurate or?
Yeah. It's right because they are not actually aware of the laws. That's your right.
Yeah.
So
And that's why you're doing what you're doing, right? Because you want to get communities
yeah,
involved and you want to get, and then it just kind of spreads like word of mouth. If you let someone know who doesn't know, then they will let somebody else know, and then they'll let, and hopefully it'll get more, more awareness of people that are not close to the main town, but like more on the
yeah,
outskirts. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just so great what you're doing and how you're helping. And I also wanted to talk about how here in the Western world, there's a misconception that people that live in the countries near where chimpanzees are wild, that they don't care about wildlife. And that's not what it is. I think it's that there are more important things like trying to find sources of income and getting food and things like that. And I just want to get your, I guess, your perception or your opinion on what, when people think that you don't care about wildlife or saving wildlife, like what would you have to say about that?
I cannot say the people are like they don't care about wildlife.
Yeah.
The issue here, like most people are think they are afraid to face it. You cannot just stop these people directly from hunting or directly from making farms. That's the only way they depend on surviving. They have kids that go to schools and all these activities where they get money to support their kids for schools and everything. And I believe one thing, conservation cannot go without alternative livelihood. So we have to also understand the problem from people, like their own perspective, how they feel.
Yeah.
Because we want them to actually stop deforestation so that the wildlife can get more space to move around and get more food. But what about the people again? Because they depend on this forest to make their farms. They depend on hunting to go kill animals to conserve and probably get enough money to support their family. So I believe it's better if we try to understand that and make sure we get another way to make sure if we want to stop them from hunting, let there be another alternative of the survive so that they
Yes.
can know,
Yeah.
yeah, we can survive without depending on hunting.
Yeah, and get their perspective on what it is that they would need, because I think different areas are going to have different needs to livelihoods. Negative effects of conservation on human lives in Sierra Leone. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So as I just earlier on the mentioned, like one of the negative effects on people's life in Sierra Leone when it comes to conservation is people only have places where they see as their own farming land. But with conservation, we try to make sure we stop them from too much of deforestation, which is how they normally benefit, like how they normally live before. So we just stop them from doing that and without trying to do any other thing that can help them in their daily activities. It can be very much difficult and it can make effect. Yeah. And also other animals trying to come and steal crops from these are also negative effects because people buy seeds for plants and seeds are very much expensive. If animals are coming from the forest and comes steal the crops, it's not a good thing. It's a backwardness, I can see. So these are also a negative effect. And also sometimes like areas I know where there are a lot of chimpanzees, people are afraid sometimes to go up to their farm like walking alone because they might encounter a chain, couple of them, and just imagine one adult chimpanzee who is angry can be as strong as 5 men. You coming across a group can be very much dangerous. So these are also like bad or negative effects as as far as conservation is concerned to people that are living. But with all this, there are some ways we can do to make sure we need to try to balance the conservation work and also try to provide a little thing that can mix it. Even though we are trying to stop them from wanting deforestation, which is normally depends on, but you see some reasons why they are doing this and also some benefits on them.
Yeah. So what is it like? What are the alternatives that you're proposing to help? I think first the people, and then explain or just try to educate them on how it's important that we try to do what we can to conserve the subspecies of the chimpanzees that are there in Sierra Leone. Do you find that do people have the same, do they need the same alternatives to livelihoods, or is it different in different villages and things like that?
Well, depends, because like different areas have different concerns, and you cannot take like how people live in Freetown and compare it to the provinces. No, there are different ways of surviving in Freetown. People do farming in Freetown, but there are other ways they survive. Okay, and in the province, mainly depend on farming. So if we are targeting areas like where we know people mainly depending on farming, we will try to make sure first the best thing that I believe in is education. We'll try to make sure we educate them how chimpanzees play roles in also human existence, because all the forests we are benefits from, chimpanzees play a very great role in getting these forests intact, because, you know, they are since dispersed, like each fruits, they grow around the poops, and that's how trees keep growing in the forest, and we get more trees, we get clean water and also clean air. So these are also things that we need to explain to the people so that they can see these animals are not just any other animal that we can go eat, but you know, they can be also important for us, you know, because they play a very great role. I have a thing that I normally like to tell people, like, if all humans die today, you know, trees in the forest are going to keep on growing, because we don't, like, they don't normally depend more on us. We depend most on them. So that means we have to make sure we protect them mostly, because our life depends on the trees.
Yeah, yeah.
And like for Freetown, the case is quite different, because people normally depend more on stone mining and other different activities. So, and most of these stone minings, they do it in illegal sites, like places that are protected areas and places that are prone to disaster.
What is that?
People grab stones or sell for people that are building, like doing constructions. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But they don't depend on us, like on that. Like places like Battles where I stayed, people, their life depends more of stone mining, because most of them are not skilled. So they depend on that stone mining. So if we want to make sure we get the attention off from these illegal things that are doing, first of all, like in areas like Battles, we'll try to make sure we do like a recreational center where we'll try to make sure we get youth in different activities, probably garata diving, tailoring, different activities, so that they can feel belong. And also the women's, I can tell you like 60% of the women that are in Battles depend highly on stone mining, which is, I feel very bad for them when I see women having hair stone, putting it on their head, moving them with it up and down. It's so much crazy. But we can help as well do that. We can provide for them tailoring machine where they can learn sewing and get themselves a skill that can benefit them, so that they will stop doing all these illegal activities that can cause harm to them. I witnessed the August 14, 2017 multiply that happened very close to Battles at a place called Botome. We are over 1,000 people died. These are also effects of human activities.
From stone mining or from?
Yeah, it's just from people that are encroaching into the park, building houses into places that are not meant to build houses. So if we get more on community education and sensitizing people and telling them like these are the risks behind all what we're doing, and this is what we can do to make things better for us all.
Yeah. A little bit earlier, you were talking about like a recreational center I remember getting a lot of feedback when I was there about a vocational center. Is there anything like that now, or?
Yeah, there's actually a community center, which they are not using for not anything right now. I believe if we have the materials, we can start using that in a better way, so that we can train women's youth in different things. So I believe that can be a good thing. And
yeah,
and also again, there are also some women that depends on gardening to plant different vegetables. These are like a small subsistence farming, but there's a potential for it to be grown, but it depends on the support that it can get. So I believe also if we can get the support, it can be important if we empower them to also make their garden a little bit bigger, so they can, after everything, they can sell their crops and they will have that money to buy school materials for the kids, have enough food at home. So they will stop doing all stone mining in waterways. Their husbands will stop going to the bushes and cutting trees, killing animals and all these things. Because I believe if we try to give this kind of little way of how we can get them involved in what we are trying to do, I believe it can help a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talked a little bit about the positive effects of conservation. Do we want to talk more about that? Or
Yeah, well, conservation having some bad hits, there are also some positive effects because it creates jobs, which is very much important. But I'm very much proud because if I have job today, it's because Tacugama is here. That's why I'm having job today. And with my job, I support my families, myself. I use that money to pay my fees. And even though it's a little bit difficult, but it's better because I'm doing something. And it's because of Tacugama is doing a conservation work. That's why I was employed. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also it's help protect the forest. Like the only forest we have within Freetown now is this western area, Peninsula National Park. And the actual landscape, this western area, Peninsula National Park, is 17,000 hectares. But I can tell you, like, we've lost almost 40% of that number. Yeah. So, and I believe even the 60% we are still having, it's because Uganda is pushing very hard to make sure, supporting the government to do what they are like, trying to be slow in doing and make sure like they get more involved and see that conservation work is being done and the forest is being protected. So these are also the benefits because we benefit from these forests, like we get clean drinking water and fresh air. We get, I believe it's very much important. These are all because of conservation work and it's a positive effect on human life.
absolutely. Do you want to talk about human-wildlife conflict a little bit more? Or
Yeah, well, as I said earlier on, because people have gone into the forest and cutting most of the trees that chimpanzees depend on, the only thing they can do now is to start calling for their crops. And it happens a lot in places that we are working across the country. We get reports from people that the chimpanzees have gone to spoil their crops. Like they came to do a rescue now, like 2 weeks ago. The people that we got the chimp from said the chimpanzee mom and other group of the adult chimp came to their farm and steal the crop. So like when they start running after them, the mother left the baby behind, which for me, I didn't buy that idea because chimpanzees are very much protecting when it comes to babies. No, they can fight with deaths just to protect their babies. So, but I know also we need to protect the chimpanzees, but also we need to take care of the, if they are coming for their crops, they also have to protect their crops because they spend a lot on that. They buy seeds, they pay people to work, and these are also the effects. But how can we try to mitigate this effect? Is to make sure we engage more on seed planting. Yeah. Because if we engage
yeah,
on more, we can have a distance that can come out and visit these particular places. We are willing to plant maybe 100 or 200,000 trees, and it could be like a buffer zone. Nobody's going to plant anything there. So the animals, like they plant more of fruit trees there, commercial trees and forest trees as well. So that the animals can have place that they can forage without coming to the people and stealing their crops. So there is this fighting where people normally try to kill the animals because they are coming for their crops and like different animals, like not only chimpanzees, but also the pigs do go for people's crops and steal them.
I know that's so. It's like a positive with a negative. You try
Yeah,
to. It's so difficult to combat all of that because, but we have to start somewhere, right?
yeah. Well, yes, if you need to start somewhere, then in a way you will try to make yourself more diverse and try to make sure like other new ideas come on as you're going on. You try to finish things that's how you get the funding because everything we are saying here it can only go for if we have the money to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the tree planting, is that something that needs funding for, or do you like how is that?
Yeah, it's actually funded. And first we can do is to make sure we get the plants. Like probably if we get the plants, try to know how many species of plants we're trying to plant and know how many thousand we try to plant. And with that, we can add a targeted location that we say, okay, this is our targeted location. We are going to plant probably like 50,000 trees here and like that.
Okay. Just how to tackle these problems. But I feel like there's a lot of different a lot of different issues that people experience. And so, I mean, I guess the only way to start is to get the perspective of the people.
So I've been probably the best agent though, which I can recommend because Backforce is one of our key focal points. And I think we're trying to make sure we do a mini survey and try to see how people are interested in the wildlife. Because if you go cut across this, like the Western Airplains National Park, Backforce is the only place you can see the forest is very thick and it's very much protected, very close up to the people. If you see the canopy of the Backforce forest, is very much unique than any other place that can go around. So I believe the people are interested. We have to make sure we get their views. If we try to do a mini survey, it probably we'll try to think about that probably by next year if God wills, and we'll do a mini survey to try to know the people interest and see what we can do to make sure this forest keep to be like how it is. Yeah. And from there, we'll try to know what will be our next step.
Yeah. So I guess, well, speaking of Bathurst, I also wanted to let people know who will be watching this that it's because of you that we've started this water dam project and raising funds. And in the beginning, we were able to raise a lot and it's kind of slowed down. So I hope with this episode that more people will see how good it is and how even if you can't donate, that's okay. And you just talk about it, share. And eventually, I keep telling everybody, even if it's just $1, like it really, really does go a long way. And I can't wait for this. Hopefully we will get this project completed. And I know it's a slow process, but yeah, I want people to be aware of, if you can go here in America, if you can go get your $10 coffee, you just think about sparing maybe $1 to help other countries where we are exploiting all of their resources. And so I'm not saying everybody has to be as passionate as we are, or I'm not going to berate you for not wanting to go to Africa and help save wildlife, but just be aware of what's happening and open your mind, open your heart, and just, yeah. But
and I'm also so grateful for how far we've been with the Water Dam project. Even though just as it's a little slow, but we are going there. We just got our first tank and probably trying to fix it in these 2 days, and probably after the holiday. And I want to say thank you for everyone that donated in a little way. Like whatever you donate helps a lot of people. You know, Bathurst is a community. It's one of the poorest community in Freetown. Like Bathurst is over 209 years old, and it was a settlement for the free slave that we are brought from the Americas. And even though it's a historic community, but it's been lacking many things. Like it's been behind many things. The water is one of the key thing I believe it's help humans to exist in the world. Everybody be important. Like it's part of us.
So, water is life. I mean, yeah.
So I believe it is our responsibility to make sure everyone have a clean drinking water. And if you donate to $1 or whatever you donate, it's very much important. Just think you provide for people that are in need. And I believe your money works. Whatever you do or you donate, worth it, because it helps life. And we still have no way to go, and I'm still pleading out there. Whatever you want to donate is very much important. Nothing is small, nothing is big. We are far, we can actually be there.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if there are people who have this mindset of, oh, it's not my country, not my problem. You should help yourself. But the reality is, no matter what country you live in, what continent you live on, we can't rely on our government. We can't. We have to rely on each other, and we have to help each other, because unfortunately there's corruption in every government, everywhere. And so there's nothing wrong with us helping each other or helping other people. That's just, it's the real talk. We rely on each other because we cannot rely on our governments.
I don't want to tell people this, everybody wants to see changes, but you have to be part of the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
It's a wait for your government to come change. Like, they have their own problems, like the corruption is not giving them a chance to do. But like, which make the effort, you can do changes, you can do something.
Yeah.
I know what it people like, even on calls. I tell them that people like to blink of, I know they have their more responsibility. But if we decide to just wait for government to do anything, everything, it's going to be very difficult for us.
Yeah.
Nothing absolutely going to work.
Yeah. I do want to talk more about the providing seeds for farmers. Well, not just that, but also priority areas. Talk about what does that mean? What does that mean by priority area?
Priority here, I mean, it's like areas we know that are being affected. Are them animals that are coming for the crops, destroying the crops. We have to make sure providing seeds, it's like you're trying to repay them back after their crops have been damaged by the animals so that they will not try to revenge on them by trying to kill them because of what they've done. So, and that's why I said priority areas. Priority areas like battles is a priority area because there are over 40 wild chimpanzees living around this forest and they do come very close to the gardens and steal crops. And we get a lot of complaints about that. So targeting like places like battles can be a priority area, and also the locations around the country that we know there have been conflicts of interest between the chimpanzees or animals in the wild with humans. And providing seeds can help them a lot, and it makes them live off what they've been being through, like after their crops have been damaged by the animals.
Okay. And so we're just talking, are we talking about just the areas like in Freetown or?
Or we also talking in areas like in the provinces. So for now, we main focus is on the Western area Peninsula National Park, which is in the Freetown. So that's why our main focus is on it for now. But as we go on, we'll try to spread our work outside the provinces. We'll try to probably do more surveys in the outside Freetown so that we can get views from people out there and know what they're being through or what are their problems and what kind of solution they are hoping to see. Probably we extend out, but for now, our main focus is on the Western area Peninsula National Park and battles as one of our key destinations. Trying to make a test case and how effective it can be, and then can spread to the other summits.
Great. And the farmers, they're open to the help and everything? They're not saying, no, we don't want your help or anything like that?
No, I don't believe if they can do that because these are people that I'm very close to them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And they have a lot of respect for me, I can say.
Uh-huh.
I'll try to make sure probably after the holidays and try to make a survey. I'll try to print some questions and I'll probably try to get their views. And from there, I'll forward them to even probably make a short video of them, try to explain some things and probably try to translate that to you and you understand better so people can know what actually they're trying to do.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. And I don't know if you would know this number on the top of your head, but I was just, as we're talking, I was curious and I was thinking, do we know right now the water dam in Bathurst, how many people are getting water now? And once we complete the project and expand it, how many more people would be getting?
Okay. So for now, the project will focus on a place called Jobusto. Jobusto is one of the places that is very close to the sanctuary. And our plan is to install it there. And Jobusto is like a community that have over 500 people. It's like part of Bathurst community where it's like a small area that more people that are doing garden work stays there. Like a top place that are very much fertile in doing this gardening work. So that's why I try to make sure I focus on it first. And after the whole project, we'll probably get over like 5,000 people that will benefit from this project. And I believe it can be very much good for them and it can be very much helpful for the community.
Yeah. We have community education and sensitization and the importance of that as far as trying to help save the chimpanzees there.
Yeah. Education has to be always part of the solution. And we have to make sure, like, after we know the problem, the cries, like, these are some of the things they are going through. Then we're trying to make sure we explain to them how they can live alongside these animals, how they can respect their own space and the animals as well. Because it's just a matter of we respecting each other. Be it a chimpanzee or a human, we just have to respect each other. And if we do that, I believe it can help a lot. So, but we have to do that through education, try to educate people out there to know these are some of the things you can do and which can make the chimpanzees or the animals not cover the crop, and that can protect you and also the animals as well. So I believe education is part of the key, and if we try to do that through education, it can help a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was a lot of the feedback that I received was education outreach, how that was one of the main ways to help people and help primates at the same time. Yeah.
And Tacugama is one of our testaments, I can say, because of the outreach and education and work that is happening, or there have been like a significant changes in areas we are watching across the country. We are in areas like with more prone for hunting and deforestation. We've seen changes because they've known how chimpanzee can be more important to human existence, and also why we actually need to live and not to keep them all, and also why we need to make sure we stop deforestation. Yeah, so I believe education can help a lot, and it can bring more changes.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, can you tell me a bit about honey production? Is that something that can be done in a lot of areas or just certain areas?
Yeah, it can happen like mostly in the provinces. Beehive is one of the most sustainable livelihood, I can say, because most of the people in the provinces like know how to harvest